He gave me explicit instructions when we're done, who to send it to and all that kind of stuff. And I went, yes, sir. Give it a couple more minutes and then we'll go ahead and start. People will pop in probably while you do it.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Just as an administrative note, because I don't silence people typically, if you would mute yourself when Jan starts presenting and stuff, would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's 2 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and start now. So welcome to the Saturday afternoon, second Saturday of the month, Hungarian. Got a great topic today. Great presenter, very well educated, very well informed, and very well knowledgeable about a multitude of subjects. And so we are recording. So, just to let you know, nothing bad about that. We just want to keep it for posterity. And so, Jan, the floor is yours, young man.
Okay, thank you. Did I understand it well correctly that you do the Zoom, the PowerPoint, or do I do it myself?
Either way you want to do it, I can certainly call it up and share it.
I prefer you do it because I have on my side, I have another one with my notes.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, if you can do it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Let me get to mine.
No, I'll tell you when to click.
Yeah, I'll need that much anyhow.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see, we transfer, that should be it. All right, which one do you want? There's a large one and a small one.
It's the final one.
They're both final.
Not the PDF, but the PPT.
Okay. Got it. Let me share now. Bear with me. I got some pop-up that's bugging me. Okay. Let's say share. Here we go. Why? Enable editing. That's the wrong share. I need to go to Zoom. Zoom meeting. Share. Share. There we go. Let me put this in slideshow.
There
we go.
Yep.
And let me minimize this, get it out of your way. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you about a topic I discovered maybe 20 some years ago, which I took up as a new collection field maybe 5 years ago only. So it's the folded typewriter postcards. So if you can go to the next slide. I will first present you the few literature that I know of. It's not very much available. And I will then present you what a folded typewriter postcard is, how it was used in general. We will talk about the rules, international, national rules, the way it was used, etc. Before going into the subject of, well, how were they used in Hungary? And there I will talk about the different tariffs, different postal services or recommendation, express, etc. Postage to due. And we'll finish with a couple of postcards. Well, they're just a nice story, each one. That's the fun part of this. These cards, well, they are very good. It's very easy to read them. They're all typewritten, so no problem in deciphering the way it is it's been written. So next slide. So these are the two books I know of, especially the book by Robert Bell. I don't know if some of you remember, he contacted also the US Society. I think he contacted every philately club everywhere, telling he was looking for these folded cards. And well, I responded, and I sent him my folded cards that were in my collection. And I believe some of you did the same. But after corresponding with him a couple of years and sending him postcards and having replies with very interesting information about them, I thought, well, this is too interesting. I'm not going to send him postcards anymore. I will keep them for myself. And well, I think he passed away some 1 or 2 years ago. I didn't succeed in contacting him anymore. But he wrote a very complete book on these postcards, generally speaking, so in the whole world. The other book is very specialized. It's on this type of card, but used in Switzerland. And they were stationary card. So the value was printed on it. So that I have no knowledge about that kind of postal stationery for Hungary, but the book is all the same interesting, gives a lot of backside information. So next slide, please. So that's just to show you how it works, generally speaking. You'll see later that there's many different kinds of cards, but normally the card is in 2 parts. The idea is that you can gain time by writing your card if the address is on the same side as the message that you are writing. And the top part is where you write the address of the people, person or company you're corresponding with, and the lower part is where you write your message. Can you click again, Joe? So that's the other side of the card. As you can see, these darker colored lines show where the glue was. Once the card is written in one passage through the typewriter, you take them out and you glue the address part on the other side. So the result is, if you click again, Joe, that's how the card looks once you've folded the small part. So we'll see there's a lot of different ways to do this and different types of cards. It's a part of the fun of collecting these cards. The way to easily detect if it's a typewriter card, normally if you have a postcard, if you want to read the message on the back, you will rotate it from left to right on a vertical axis. Don't know if you follow me, but for these, you will rotate them from top to bottom on a horizontal axis. As a matter of fact, the web message at the back is upside down. That's the can't be otherwise because it's all written in one so only passage. Well, you'll see also later that this does not always work, but it's an easy way to see if it's a typewritten folded card or not. Next slide, please. Now, some regulations. I found this in the book of Robert Bell. I hope to be able to find some regulations also for Hungary. The problem is I'm not very familiar with Hungarian, so I'll need some time to find that. But these are already very interesting dates. In 1910, there was a German Posten regulation stating that private industry-produced postcards with address strips, they were permitted inside the country. And in 1917, there was an agreement between Germany and some other countries that they could exchange this type of cards, amongst which Hungary. And apparently these countries have talked about this in the UPU meetings, and the 1920 convention, they allow this kind of card, but provided that they adhere completely to the card. They should not be, otherwise during the handling in the post offices, that there could be a problem if all of a sudden the address part is on the wrong side. So it has to be completely closed before posting. And apparently in 1984, UPU decides that this kind of card is not allowed anymore. We know of cards used after this period, but well, maybe they were just allowed for a small bit of time. But nowadays, I don't have any cards after 2000. That's for sure. Next slide, please. They were in use in many countries. So principally in European countries. This is a Swiss card, if I'm correct, or Austrian. No.
Austrian. It's an Austrian.
Austrian, yeah, Austrian. Click again, please. France. Click. This is Switzerland. Click again. There you are in Holland. Once more. Here we're in Czechoslovakia, nice express card. And the last one is a nice one from Germany, but you got some postage due in Hungary. These cards, they are very rare in America, in Africa and Asia. They have very much been in use in Europe, and especially in these 6 countries that I show you here. But for the rest of the world, maybe it's also because Robert Bell didn't have access to these markets. It's a subject that's still open, but for the moment, it's principally Europe. Okay, next slide. As for the use in Hungary, the earliest card I know of is this one. So that's 1915. I saw it in a sale in Holland, and I hope to be able to add it to my collection in a while. But for the moment, it's still on the market. Next one. That's the latest I have discovered up till now, 1952. But it's very well possible that we will find some later use very soon. So the next. Yeah, apparently there was a huge market for these cards. Many companies, they found it really yeah, interesting way to make the work of the corresponding with clients easier. So there have been many companies that printed these cards, and many of them also asked for protected them by a patent or a trademark or both of them. So this is a Mr. Posner who calls his card a self-closing postcard, and the right part of the inscription that's at the bottom of the card means that it's been legally protected. He has asked for deposited a patent. Okay, next slide, please. This is another printer who had a trademark, Radix. He most often he printed it on the cards that he had sold to his clients, and this is a type which he has very largely sold. I have many companies who had bought these cards from Radix with the two flaps that are identical in size. There's not one just small part for the address, but it's two complete cards, which has the advantage that there's much more room also for the heading for the company, and with or without nice illustrations. And click, please. And I found in this paper the bulletin of the Central Trademarks Bulletin, which is the official journal of the Hungarian Patent Court. I found this mention that says that Mr. Armin Rado, he has deposited the trademark Radix for all kinds of supplies, so envelopes, postcards, erasers, and his initial registration was in 1930. So that corresponds with the card that's behind it that was sold in 1933. And this bulletin is of 1941. Apparently in 1940 he renews his the protection of his trademark. Yeah, next please. I found on the internet this bill of Mr. Arthur Rado, and he sold to Mr. Istvan Balog. He sold some different things, especially, so he sold an adapted 200 pages book. I can just guess what that means, but also a document organizer. I thank Marianne for her help with the translation. And if you click again, I looked up in my collection if I couldn't find a card used by this Mr. Istvan Balog, and there you are. He was a client of Mr. Rado. Click again. So this letter is from 1946. So this Mr. Rado was at least 15, 16 years on the market of these folded cards in Hungary. Next, please. Mr. Rado himself, he used his cards. This is one with his heading. He's writing to a client. Yeah, what amazed me is that on his own cards, he doesn't mention that his cards are patented. There's just his name of the company, that's all. Next one. Here's another manufacturer of these cards. And if you click again, So this Mr. Bela Chinashi, if you click again, yeah, this is enlarged. This is what he had written at the bottom of the back of his card. And click again, you'll get the translation. I will deliver any quantity of these patented moisture-free, that's how he calls them, adhesive postcards. So there were really many suppliers of this kind of card. Shows that they were really very much in use. The next, please. I looked at my collection because, yeah, in the UPU regulations, they specify the maximum and minimum sizes of these cards that could be used. I looked it up in my collection, and I found the biggest one was 15, a bit more than 15 centimeters by 11, which exceeds the maximum authorized by UPU, but not by a few millimeters. So they passed all the same. The other one is a very small one, but large enough for the regulations. Next one, please. Yeah, as I told you, there's many ways of using these cards and of conceiving different models. So they can be closed with glue, or if you click again, by staples or adhesives. Adhesives, either the stamps themselves or little stickers that that they put on. Sometimes there's even glue with it and staples. They really put everything on it, but these three have each time only glue, only staples, or only adhesives. But there are some very rare types. If you click again, or some very nice, yeah, this is very nice. You can see that the little stickers sometimes are really printed also for this purpose. This one corresponds exactly with the card and even the machine cancel. Next one. And yeah, well, there's some very inhabitual types of closure. This is by crimping on both sides. I have only 2 or 3 cards of with this kind of closure, and well, I wonder if there's not more of them. Maybe it was just a system that didn't really work, that didn't give satisfaction. And I believe with the card that I will show you a bit later that we'll have the answer to that question. Okay, next, please. Now this one, I only have one of these cards. It's really a very ingenious way of closing them. There are 2 small, on the address side, on the address flap, there are 2 small tongues on each side that you can insert exactly into 2 slots that are in the larger flap of the card. If you click again 2 times, Joe. I don't know if you can see how it works. Oops. Here again, I didn't see any others of these. Maybe they were not accepted by the post because not strongly enough closed. I can see that when I try to open them, these little tongues, they are very fragile. I think if they put them in the post, they might very well get ripped off, and that's maybe one of the reasons why this system has not been used widely. The next one, please. Also, yeah, rather rare type of card with the address flap is not horizontally folded, but vertically. So here again, there's not very many of them. I wonder if there was really an advantage of this. Imagine putting this in your typewriter. If you want to type the address, you have to go down, in this case, 4 times, and then you go to the right part where you want to write the message, and it's difficult to make these lines correspond with the lines of the address. So I think that's why they have not been really adopted by the clients. If you have any questions, if there's anything not clear, please don't hesitate to ask a question. Next one, please. Yeah, this is another type. I've only one of these. This one has 3 flaps. So there's an address flap, there's the message flap, and there's a third one that's where the 3 stamps are stuck on. And once the 3 are folded, the hole is closed with one staple. So if you click, you can see how it is unfolded. So I have to get out the staple to unfold it. Try to do it very in a way so that I could put it back again. I don't know if you imagine how it works with these 3 flaps. Anyway, that's the only one I have. Next one, please. So the idea was of these cards was to gain time in corresponding with the different clients. And one of the ways of gaining time was to have a copy of your message written by a typewriter. So there were models where there was the card that was to be sent to the client, which had carbon on the back. And there was a second example of exactly the same size behind it to be put into the files of the company with the copy typed on it. So the problem with used cards is that they are glued together. I can't show them. I can't open them. And I'm lucky enough to have one open card, one unused card, which is still open. Oh, it makes me think that I have forgotten to tell you something in the very beginning. I told you I've corresponded a lot with Robert Bell. Someone I'm very grateful to also is Michael Zolno. Maybe you have corresponded with him also. He sold me his collection of folded cards. He had a very nice collection of Hungarian folded cards, and he decided to pass on to other subjects, so he sold me his collection. About half of the cards that I show here come from his collection, amongst which this card unused, the only example I have. Okay, next slide. So now I'm going to the use in Hungary. If I wanted to be complete and show you all the changes of tariffs of postcards in this period from 1915 till 1915 something, would be very boring. So I show you some nice cards which I think are nice from more smaller periods of tariffs. So this is one of the first inflation at the foreign card rate of 3,000 korona. And if we go to the next card, we jump directly to the hyperinflation period, which of course is a very interesting period with many possibilities. So this is from the period 3, a domestic card rate of 6 pengo. And you can see an advantage of these of this inflation period is that you need a lot of stamps very often, which could help to close the folded card. Next one. Here again, a nice strip of 5 stamps to make up for the domestic card rate of 2,000 pengo. Now, what is particular about this card is that it is not typewritten. It's written by hand. It's not very rare, but I've got it's not very common either. I have quite a few of them, and very often it is because somebody from the company he needed a card, so he thought, well, I don't have one. I take this one from the company, and that will do the affair. Okay, next one. This is the first day of period 9. Normally, the rate of period 9 for a local card was 16,000 pengo. But for this period, there were grace days. So it could be admitted if the franking was at least the worth of the former rate, which is the case. And the rate in period 8 was 8,000 pengo. So this one was accepted. Next one, please. Period 15. Normally it should have been 4 million pengo. And here there's 20,000 missing, but well, 20,000 on such a huge sum is nothing. So it was delivered. What you can see here also is that this is a neutral card. The heading of the company is written by the typewriter also. I think these were cards that were a bit less expensive. People or companies could buy them for cheaper because the printer could print huge quantities of these and sell them at every company, providing they were in Budapest, because on the back side there's Budapest written or imprinted. Next one, please. This is the first day again, period 17, at the correct rate for a domestic card of 72 million pengo. Next one. This is a very nice card. I love this one. It shows several things. First of all, during the hyperinflation period, very often they didn't have the stamps necessary to make up exactly the tariff, so they put on the stamps closest to to what was needed. And well, if there was something missing, then you could pay it cash. So this is a combination of the 2,000 million pengo stamp, and there's 400 million pengo paid cash. That's handwritten in pencil, and with the control number 6084 of Dior. Other nice thing of this card is it shows another way of closing cards. Here the card is in 2 parts. There's 2 flaps. And to close it, they glued just a strip of paper on the top. Now that's where the biggest part of the stamp is on, and the 6084 number. It's glued on it, and it closes the card. It's a new type that was sold by the same company, Radex, and he started in 1942 with this new type, and I have several companies using them. Apparently this was a practical way of using these cards, and the strips were I think provided by the printer, but very often the strip of paper is in the same color or approximately in the same color as the card itself. Okay, next. This is one of the latest, or the latest period, yeah. So this was the card rate. There was no distinction anymore between domestic or local. This was the card rate of 200 million ADO pingo in this period. Okay, that's for the different tariffs possible. And now some special frankings, if you can go on. So this is a registered card from the third period. Local card registered for Pango, registration 20. These folded cards mostly were used for very simple messages to the clients. So it's rather uncommon to find them with registration or express. Registration is still rather you can find them easily, but the others are very more difficult. Can you go to the next one? So that's 1949. It's a late model. You can see the Radix cards are still there on the market with this different type, what I showed already with the other card, with a little strip of paper stuck on the top. Domestic card rate was 20 filler and 140 for the registration. And this kind of card, of course, no, I'll talk about that later. Please, next. Express. Express is rather rare. I've very few cards like this. And this one goes abroad. Preferential postcard rate for Germany was 16 filler, and the Express abroad was 18. Next. Express during the hyperinflation is even more sensitive. This is a nice one. What I learned from Bob Morgan is that the Express rate was not very clear if it had to be paid on top of the normal card rate or if it was included. It's here it's 10 pingo are added to the 160 for the local card. Next card. So this is an airmail letter. Well, airmail, I wonder if it was really an airmail, but there is an airmail supplement of 10 filler if you look at the franking. But were there airmail connections between Page and Budapest? I wonder if anyone has information about that, I'm very interested. Another airmail. Next one. This one to Germany. 16 filler for the postcard and 20 filler for the airmail rate. And if you look at the hours of this card, it was cancelled at 10 p.m. Wednesday at the Budapest 62 office, and 2 hours later at midnight at the Budapest 72 Legi Post office. They were close by, of course, but all the same. They were working late hours, and the aim was really to go as fast as possible. But yeah, another thing, this card is blue color. Colored cards are not very common, and blue is very seldomly seen. And the company doesn't make it much easier because he uses blue ink to write on the blue card. Well, next one. This is a card to the USA with 40 filler airmail supplement to the card tariff. And the message on the back is interesting also if you click again. So it goes to Detroit in Michigan, and it's somebody who has applied to the Michigan University, and apparently has good hope to be accepted. Card went through Paris, apparently. Next one, please. So this is the only card I have with registration and express. Yeah, the only hic is that there's an excess of 10 filler, if I count it correctly, which I cannot really explain. The only thing I could think of, well, apart of being just a mistake of miscounting, but otherwise maybe the sender, he would want it really to be sure that the card arrived, knowing that sometimes there were problems with this kind of card because of regulations, etc. He put on the franking of a letter, because if there was a problem with the card, if it wasn't accepted as folded card, then it was counted as a letter. So maybe just thought, well, 10 filler more or less is not a problem. I want to be sure that this card arrived. Okay, next one, please. Yeah, that's another way of approaching these cards. It's all the different types of cancellations that you can find in this long period from 1915 till 1952. It's, well, for instance, all the TPO cancels. This is a nice clear stamp of the 143 line. I won't try to pronounce the names of the towns. I'll leave that for Hungarian speakers. Next one. This is a railway station cancellation. That's the town of Marianne, if I'm not mistaken. Next one. Well, these are rather rare on this type of correspondence. These Vishatjat cancels. This was bulk correspondence, and I don't think the postmen in the offices, they were interested in putting nice cancellations on these. They preferred putting just the official post office cancel. I have seen very few of these on this kind of correspondence. Another way of approaching this this period is the censorship. Next slide, please. You might have seen this card already. I've shown it also in my censorship presentation. It's the only example I have of not only of postcards, but of Hungarian post treated by the Königsberg office, which was the post office that treated Hungarian post only for a couple of months, and only if it went in the direction of the Baltic states. So it's a very small window for this type of treatment. Next one. So this one goes to England and went through the British censorship. T70, that's a cancel that was used by the British censorship in United Kingdom itself. Next one. This is a very early use of the stamps by the Vienna office, the censor stamps, which was the office that was responsible for all the post from Hungary to other countries abroad. Now, very often people try to avoid the censorship by the German censors, so they try to put them on trains or on roads that went to via other countries, like the next example. Here it wasn't very difficult because it went to Italy already, so it's been censored by the Italian censorship. If you click again, this is the back side where you see several other stamps. One more. There you are. So that's the stamp of the Milano office. But also post for going to France, for instance, very often the people try to direct it through Italy to avoid the German censorship. Next slide. Yeah, before talking about the postage too, you can see here what happened with this crimpling type card at the sides. The crimpling was here too strong and almost ripped off the small parts at each side of the card. That might be one of the reasons why these cards weren't used very much, because they were very hard to use correctly. Now the postage due is because the card was franked as a local card, but it was used as a domestic card. So 4 filler short times 2 makes 8 filler postage due. Next card. Now this is Nyomtatványi. It's a printed matter. Printed matter is possible, even as a folded card, but there are rules. And one of the rules is that you cannot, it has to be printed, and you can add some words, but not more than 5. Now, if you click again, apparently here there was a very meticulous postal officer who counted really every word. And for him, 1 letter with a point or 2 or 24 point, that was also a word. So the dotted circles are 1 word, and the full circle, he counted that as 3 words. So that's 6 words in total. So, sorry, said the post officer, this is not a printed matter anymore. This is a postcard. So 4 filler missing. Click again, please, Joseph. Sorted of 4 filler, so needed 8 filler postage too. But I have another card, a very similar, exactly the same card from the same correspondence, 3 days later, and it went through the post without any problem. Found a post officer that was a bit more comprehensive. This is another postage due with another reason. This is why it's important to know the rules for these cards. Here the flap was not attached to the principal part, so it was considered as a letter. So it needed 10 filler more times 2, 20 filler postage too. Next one. Oh yeah, this is a question I have for everybody. I have 3 identical cards with, or well, not identical, but they have the same postage and the same postage due. They were sent by different companies in a lapse of 6 months' time to Austria, and they were all taxed 32 groschen. And I can't see why. The 16 filler is the correct rate for a card to Austria at that time. the two flaps are correctly attached. The dimensions are okay. So I don't understand why this happened. I asked some colleagues in Austria also and other collectors of this kind of cards, but nobody has an answer for the moment. So please, if you can help. Next one, please. Yeah, now we're in the miscellaneous part. These are cards with a bit of history. So this is a card from a company, a mining company. But apparently the if we look at the back side, please click once more. The message on the back is really personal. Because if you click again, what he says, he asks his friend, you click again and you will have the translation. I kindly ask you, my dear friend forest manager, to send me as a sample without value, it shouldn't cost too much, 2 pine cones. I will pay your expenses with Hungarian stamps. And he needs the cones. I don't know the recipe for Polinka, but apparently he needed 2 pine cones to start his Polinka production. But this has nothing to do with mining, that's for sure. If you click again, you can see the nice picture of the mining plant. Next one. Yeah, another nice story. Oh, nice. This is from the Second World War period, correctly censored by the Vienna office. So between a wholesaler in vegetables to another wholesaler in vegetables in Germany. Now the message, if you click again, is very interesting. He talks about champignonkonserven nach goulash art, so that are mushrooms in goulash style. And what he says is that we regret to inform you that we are unable to send you canned mushrooms goulash style, as the last shipments were completely confiscated by the Wehrmacht, by the German army. And further deliveries will likely be confiscated for the same purpose. So I don't know how many he sent, but he didn't want to take the risk. Next one. Yeah, this is a card to Oslo in Norway. Again, it's talking again about vegetables. It's a Radex, as you can see. It's one of the typical Radex cards. And if you click again, you have you'll see it a bit clearer. He talks about peas, erbsen. If you click again, you'll have the translation. We are offering you approximately 30 tons, yeah, nothing less, of sterilized Victoria peas and free of live beetles. When I read that, I have a lot of questions. I think live beetles, yes, but how many dead beetles are in between the Victoria peas? And at a price of, well, it's not expensive apparently, and in 100-kilo sacks. Do you see manipulating these 100-kilo sacks nowadays, when I don't know what the maximum weight is for this kind of thing now? It must be 10 kilo or something. At that time, 100 kilo, no problem. Next one, please. Yeah, this has got to do with Vissatert again. This is from Oividek in the part that had been attributed to the Kingdom of Serbs in 1920, and that was reintegrated in Hungary in April 1941. So this is a card from July 1943 from this company in Oividek to a client in Germany. If you click again, you'll see the back of the card. And again, to have the translation. So our iron goods wholesale business, forced to close during the Yugoslav occupation, has reopened since this area was reintegrated into Hungary. We seem to have secured a large sales opportunity for the coming period of peace. Very optimistic. And please let us know what you expect to be able to supply once normal conditions return. Well, that's these are cards that really, yeah, are witnesses of the typical history of these regions. Next one, please. Yeah, another way of maybe approaching this this topic would be a thematic collection. I just made a pick on all my cards, all the cards that had an illustration with animals on it. Well, they're all there: mammals, reptiles, insects. You have a choice. I'd like to finish with one of my favorite cards. I just find this a beauty. It's very simple. It's a sport and games shop, but beautiful two-color illustration of the school playground furniture that this company offered for sale. Next one. Thank you very much.
That was wonderful. I didn't realize it. You know, I just leaf through. I've got a pile of these things with puffins.
Okay. I have some. Yeah, I didn't show that. I have several also of puffins. That's also a way of, and that makes sense because it's all company correspondence. So
Absolutely, it's all
yeah,
business mail.
yeah, very often they have these puffins on them.
I never really realized they were typewriter cards. I'll be honest with you, but everyone's typewritten for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was wonderful. Thank you.
But sometimes you find typewritten. Yeah, I didn't tell you that typewritten cards. That for one reason or another they have the other side written in the wrong way. You can't distinguish them from a normal card. And sometimes they are written by hand, so that way.
Yeah, you showed one of those.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. When you flip them over, they're all upside down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every one of mine are.
I will try to transform this presentation in an article that I will write for the German group. They don't have Zoom presentations, but we publish a year book every year. I'll try to make an article for that.
That's nice scholarly work.
But it's fun. It's a nice subject. So if anyone has some other cards that might complete my history, I'm eager to either have just the illustrations or to take them over.
I'm probably not going to sell you any of my perfect cards. They're all check anyhow. They go in my check.
I'll be honest with you. I won't try to make a perfect collection with these cards. It would be a new collection field.
Oh, there you go. More than welcome.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions for Jan?
Well, no, I just want to say that I appreciated this lecture because I learned about these cards, and my hang up was that most of the time the stamps on the cards are damaged. Now I know why, because they were used to seal the cards.
Yeah, that's
so, you know, I grumbled about that, but now I understand why the situation is the way it is. I appreciated your lecture, Jan. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's yeah, that's a fact I didn't explain, but with these cards, the standards of what is a nice card and a correct card to be able to go into a collection, isn't it damaged, etc. This is much lower for these kind of cards because very often they went into the archives where they were wrongly treated. They were perforated, and if you consider that these cards are not worth collecting, then half of the cards that you encounter, you can't take them. And very often these are the very rare cards. So in the folded typewriter postcards, this standard is not used. A perforated card is perfectly possible in an FTP collection. And also one with damaged stamps because they have been stuck to attach the flap. That can be accepted also. Of course, if I have the choice between two identical cards, one with perforation, one without, I'll take the one without. But
Andrew?
Oh, yes. Good evening, everybody, from the UK. I'd just like to say how much I enjoyed your display. It was very, very interesting. I do have some of these cards myself, including a few German, and I was interested to see the second inflation period, which is sort of my area of interest. But also, I'd just like to add that that's the wonderful thing about postcards and these typewriter cards. You can read the messages and you can sort of understand what some of the difficult things, especially during the inflation period, what these people were going through, and because it's all revealed in their messages. So fascinating area, and I very much enjoyed it. Thanks very much.
you're welcome.
About this time, Alan would have all kinds of nice notes to talk about with the society. I'm not that smart. So for everybody, I appreciate you coming. Glad you could show up, and I'll have this posted up on the website to the folks that maintain that particular site. And I'll also send it out to Alan's asked me to distribute it to all the folks that normally get his Zoom messages. And so it'll take a few hours to compile it, and then I'll send it out. So thank you very much for all attending, and hope to see you in a little bit, maybe a month or two.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.